And hello to you. This is Aaron, and I'm not in the sorry chair, but I do have a tale to tell. I'm not far away from the sorry chair. I'm in the bathroom. I have shot video in here before. I haven't uploaded any of it yet because I haven't felt led to. But anyway, here we are in the bathroom. Now, yesterday was quite a day. Yesterday, in this case, was Christmas Day 2020. And just a few miles to the west of me in Nashville, Tennessee, it was a very horrible day. There was a huge explosion that took place in Nashville. And even today, there are repercussions that are felt. And I'm not necessarily talking repercussions in terms of a curfew that is in effect in downtown Nashville. That's probably the least of the worries, because this bomb was exploded around an AT&T data center, I think, or something to that effect. It was a very important piece of AT&T communication infrastructure, and because of that, there have been quite severe repercussions that have happened. There are 911 systems that are down, or at least as far as, dialing the magic numbers of 911 getting help. We have scrambled to put up alternative numbers for emergency help. And also today, something that we've seen, of course, this is the day after Christmas, which is a big shopping day. Well, something that we've seen complications in commerce. I personally made a stop at both branches of my bank that I use with an ATM card, and I found red lights, meaning the ATMs are out of order. So I'm sure a lot of people are finding ATMs out of order, and we have heard word that a Walmart close by to us here is on a cash-only basis. And it's just, you mess with this e-infrastructure, and we're in a pickle. That's just about all that can be said. But on a better note, on a happier note, last night I did something that I have not done until last night, and that is hop onto a live stream via StreamYard. And it was with Papa Mozo, who I like to refer to as the patron saint of the cruise and travel community on YouTube. Well, he just up and decided to do a live, and I caught it there, and along with him was a little girl that we've have come to know and love, Rachael, as in Rachael Loves Disney, and she was there with him. And Papa invited me up to give an account about what happened in Nashville just that day, and I did that. Fortunately for me, I saw a video on the YouTube machine about how to climb onto a StreamYard feed, and so we utilized that. And I had a question for Rachael, and she had a question for me that I don't think I really answered in a really great way. And her answer was about a certain place in Nashville, a pretty famous place in Nashville. And I knew that there wasn't any problem with it, but I really couldn't say, well, that would be because it was here and the blast was here. I couldn't do that. And so that's what we're trying to do here today in the bathroom. If I push this button, nothing happens. It's picture. Took a picture of it. Okay, so anyway, here's what we are looking at. This is a quick and dirty. And when I say quick and dirty, I mean as in quick, didn't take much time to create, and dirty in terms of, it's not really the prettiest thing that you've ever saw. This is a thing known as the loop. For those of you who've traveled in Nashville or live in Nashville, this is a term that's familiar to you. The loop is essentially a roundabout. The difference is, while roundabouts are usually concocted of intersections of city streets and avenues and pikes, this is a roundabout of interstate highways. You got Interstate 40 running east to west, dead flat. You have Interstate 65, which is running north to south, dead flat. And you have Interstate 24 that comes up from Chattanooga and goes onward towards the northwest to St. Louis. this is still considered an east-to-west route, even though it's, like I said, it's cattywampus, it's slanted, and all that sort of stuff. But it does have an even number, 24, so that means it's going east to west, as opposed to odd numbers like 65 and 40s and 65. I'm getting mixed up here. I'm sorry about that. But this is a roundabout of an interstate highway, of 3 interstate highways that make their intersection in the Nashville area. And this is how they get around. And this is, you can imagine this thing, it's like an O, like the letter O. So here's the thing. As you might have guessed, this little red splotch right here, this is the approximate location as to where the explosion took place. The explosion took place in Nashville, Tennessee at 2nd Avenue and Commerce Street, around in that neighborhood, around that vicinity on 2nd Avenue. And we're talking, we're a couple of blocks away from this interstate highway, maybe 3, possibly 4 blocks away from the Cumberland River, which flows along this side right here. This is to the east. This is East Nashville. And a funny thing that I've heard there have been reports that this explosion was heard all the way over in Mount Juliet. Now, Mount Juliet is a few minutes drive east of Nashville on Interstate 40. Mount Juliet is just over the line from the Davidson-Wilson County line. And that's a few minutes drive, even if traffic is with you and traffic is good. So that's very, very astounding. And if you've seen video, if you've seen pictures of the detonation, you've seen pictures of the wreckage, then you know it was a tremendous explosion. And like I've said, it's got repercussions even as of right now, and hopefully we'll be working through those in the not-too-distant future. Now, Rachael made an inquisition about a place, a very special place in Nashville. And that very special place in Nashville, a part of what makes Nashville, Nashville, to at least a lot of people anyway, is Music Row. Now, I knew Music Row is nowhere near here. I knew that. But I didn't know exactly where it was, so I knew they were okay. I may have communicated so much to her, but I don't know exactly where it is. But I've looked it up, and I have found it out. And Music Row is around about there. Now, again, imagining this as a letter O, Music Row is located around the 7 o'clock position of the O, the 7 o'clock position on the loop. And additionally, the explosion took place within the area comprised by the O, which in this case is downtown Nashville. Music Row lies outside of the O. So Music Row, as far as physical carnage goes, no, nowhere near that. I'm sure they probably heard the thing go off. If they heard it in Mount Juliet, they've probably heard it in Music Row, I would say. And it's definitely had an effect on them, and has an effect on them today, because Nashville is kind of sort of close-ish as far as big cities go, or what passes for big cities these days. And Music Row is definitely a treasure for the Nashville area. It's a treasure that, truth be told, in my opinion, is not really valued as much as it probably should be, because there's tons of development going on in Nashville for various reasons, and development has even hit Music Row. There have been places where interesting things in the history of country music have taken place, and those places are done away with on development of Music Row and Nashville in general. So anyway, Rachael, I hope this answers your question in a little bit better of a way, because the explosion was nowhere near Music Row, so Music Row was not damaged by the literal explosion itself. It's more like the aftermath, the aftershocks, and the ripple wave of inconvenience and bad feelings and bad vibes that emanate from the center of the blast. Like I said, I hope this helps, and we'll see you again on another video.